Hi, I'm Neil McCabe with Human Events, and with me is Human Events' David Harsanyi, and we're going to talk about all that nonsense and chaos that was called the Fiscal Cliff. We're talking to you from Human Events Studio about the recent developments. Fiscal Cliff,
right?
Debt ceiling, and maybe the speaker fight that was not.
Was not for sure.
A lot of people are taking the Fiscal Cliff as round one. How do you see it?
Well, it's almost a KO, I guess. I don't think they won very much. I know some of our colleagues, Alan Riskin, had recently written about how that Boehner had done the best he could with the Fiscal Cliff, but and you know, I simply don't think that they weren't in a good position to do very well, but I think they could have done a lot better. And at some point, Republicans are going to have to make a stand, or they're going to lose their base.
Yeah, I keep hearing the Republicans saying we're just going to give them this one, and then next time we're going to fight, and that fight never seems to come. But
well, you know, the fight was had during the election in a sense. I mean, they lost, and one of the big issues was the tax increase on the wealthy, which now Obama has. So I think he loses some of that traction, some of that leverage, some of that, you know, currency with the public. But still, I don't think that the dynamics of the debate have changed enough to help Republicans really win one of these rounds, unless they're willing to do what's necessary and go over this next cliff.
Republicans I spoke to, both members and staffers, told me that they were willing to sort of go along with the Fiscal Cliff compromise because they were going to fall back and really, like you said, make a last stand, round two, with the debt ceiling. What is your confidence that when the debt ceiling fight comes, the Republicans will shut down the government and really make Obama pay?
Well, listen, I think that I don't have any confidence in the leadership of the Republican Party to do anything that's right here. But I think what we've learned is that you can bypass the Tea Party Republicans, unfortunately, in the House by simply getting enough moderates and Democrats on board. And I think that that's going to be the formula here. I think you're going to have the deal will come from the Senate. Are they willing to go over the cliff? I think you have to let the other side believe that you're willing to, right? So I think Toomey's come out and said that they would, and some others.
Senator Pat Toomey from Pennsylvania?
From Pennsylvania, yes, a fine senator. So I think that might happen. But you had a theory, actually, on what might happen. Let's talk about that.
Well, what I heard in the press conference that the president gave after the deal was passed from Congress sounded to me like he was very close to invoking Section 4 of the 14th Amendment. There were 3 of these amendments that passed after the Civil War, towards the end of the Civil War. And in the 14th Amendment, Section 4, they wanted to clarify that any of the debts that the federal government owed fighting the Civil War to keep the Union would be good. But any of the debts that might be sort of passed off to the federal government that were from Confederate states, for example, like military pensions for Confederate soldiers, the 14th Amendment, Section 4, makes it clear that none of those bills are going to be paid by the federal government. About a year and a half ago, Bill Clinton suggested that this section could be used to sort of spend, because the theory is Congress authorizes a program, the president is the slave of Congress, so either he has the money through revenues or he has it somewhere else, but it's basically decided that he must do it and he must pay the bill, in effect giving him unlimited borrowing authority.
Which is what he asked for, in essence, in the Fiscal Cliff fight. He asked for that to be on the table so that he can essentially control the debt ceiling, which means there would be no control on debt. Not that there is.
One quick question to wrap up.
Yeah.
In baseball, they say basically whoever's in first place July 4th wins the pennant. On July 4th is John Boehner the Speaker of the House.
John Boehner, what do you? Yeah, he's the Speaker of the House.
You think he's still?
Yeah.
I say no.
You know, there was this sort of mini rebellion, but you can't have a rebellion without any leaders, right? I mean, it was kind of a silly thing to do. Even though I'd like to find a leader that's more charismatic and better at politics, frankly, than Boehner is. But is there one out there, do you think?
I think there may be. Eric Cantor may be in the wings.
He doesn't want it.
That's what you're supposed to say.
That's true.
Well, thank you very much, David.
Yeah, Neil. Nice to meet you.
And see you next time.